Great Britain is 298 miles wide, 480 kilometres wide at its widest point, but that is the part of the country which goes from Wales over to Norfolk, so really most of the island is a lot thinner than that. Lengthways it is 600 miles from north to south, that's about 1,000 kilometres. Now, as you'll know, obviously the population is grown drastically over the last few decades, which means the country is a lot more full, more roads, more houses, and this just short video gives you an idea, because sometimes when you talk about numbers it's hard to grasp what a number looks like and how many that actually is. So this will sort of definitely highlight and help people see what sort of scale the increase has been. I'm going to start by saying, I'm going to go back over. So we'll start with anyone who's 13 in 2013. If you're born at the start of this new millennium, just 13 years ago, the population now, compared to then, has increased by a country the size of Lithuania. That's over 3 million people. Going back to 1976 is when I was born. If you're born in 1976, now in 2013 compared to then when you were born, the increase in population is equivalent to more than the population of modern day Denmark, which is 5.6 million. So that's the whole population of Denmark now lives in the UK, on top of everyone that was around when you were, like, the size of the country that you were born into. Now, going back to the baby boomer era, 1950, there was a lot of people born in 1950. 1950, compared to 1950, the population of Greece is now living in the UK compared to when you were born. That's Greece's population is 10.7 million. The population in 1950 was 50 million, so it's about 62.5 or something now. So that's more than the population of Greece that are here compared to when you were just a child. If you're older and you're born in 1930, then you'll see a real difference, because the population of the UK compared to 1930 is the equivalent of the modern day Portugal and Finland living in this small 600-mile long island compared to when you were born. Now, if you think that's quite surprising or shocking, then this is a nice end to the video, because it's a real well, anyway, it's predicted that the population by 2027 that'll be around about the time, based on all the current predictions and stuff, the population will go from 62 million that it is now to 70 million. Now, that the population between 2011 and 2012, the latest statistics show the population increased by over 400,000. Net immigration in the last year, which has came down, was about the population of Swindon. I think it was about 160,000 people. So anyway, going back to the 70 million in 2027, that's an increase of 8 million, which is the equivalent of the population of Switzerland. So according to the predictions, between now and 2027, which is only 14 years away, the population of this tiny overcrowded island is going to increase by the size of the population of Switzerland. And that doesn't include if all, the increased numbers that might come from Bulgaria and Romania in January. So if they all come next year, then that figure of 70 million will probably come before 2027. And that's not a cut-off period, that's just a figure for that that number 70, but that doesn't mean it'll stop there. So it's going to have massive implications, and that's why all the green belts are going to have to be built on, the roads are going to have to be widened, the trains, they're trying to sort of cope with it, but it's just beyond belief, the numbers, and none of the main political parties have took it seriously. They've allowed it to happen. They don't seem. David Blunkett, when he was asked his Home Secretary what he saw as the limit for the population, he was on record on, I think it was on Newsnight, and he said, "I don't see any upper limit." So that's where they've been coming from. They didn't see a limit. They didn't plan for it. Good luck, everyone.